Welcome to Comically Comics, your one-stop listen to all things comics. We're talking books, movies, TV shows, video games, and more. I must forewarn you, though, we are a spoilercast, and what that means is we consider all properties, past, future, and present, to be valid, and we will spoil the hell out of them. I'm your host, Michael, along with my two co-hosts, Richard and Jeremy, and with all that being said, let's get started. All right, it is Sunday, September 8th. We are back with... would this technically be a movie or comic or movie you didn't know were comics?
Yes.
I feel like this is one of those.
Absolutely, yes.
Or just a movie I didn't know was a movie out there.
Well, that's not saying much, Jeremy, but yes.
1995's The Crow. That's what we're talking about today. This is a cult classic
94.
right here, y'all.
94.
Yeah.
What did I say?
95.
5.
Oh, I apologize. Yes, 94. That's what I meant. That's what I have wrote down. So
You were
there
just wishing it was 95.
Was I, though?
Yeah, that was a good year.
All the advancements in it would have looked like 10 times different, on just that 1 year of CGI advancement there.
Yes, 1994's The Crow, James O'Barr. Property right here. He is the creator of The Crow, the writer, the drawer of the first comic that came out in 1989. Now, The Crow's first appearance, though, is in Caliber Presents #1 from 1989. So if you're interested in that book, those are fucking high dollar books. I'm just letting y'all know. Both those.
Oh, really?
Oh, they're very high. Very,
Why?
especially if you get them in like really high grade because they have dark covers. So if they show spine ticks really easily. But yeah, no, they're really high books. Really high books.
Why are they high?
I think it's several reasons. I think it has to do with print count. I think it has to do with the fact of the covers and the way that they handle defects.
Oh, okay.
And I think those two together, and then this being like I said, this being a cult classic, a cherished character for a lot of people of that time, like I think that's what leads to the price of this book being what it is.
This movie was like every goth kid's like awakening movie.
Right?
Yeah.
Right.
No, this absolutely was.
Well, and it had like a stellar freaking soundtrack as well for back in the day. It was talking like The Cure, Stone Temple Pilots, 9 Inch Nails, Rage Against the Machine, Pantera. Those were like the bigger names that I saw on the soundtrack list that I, and even watching the movie, like hearing, I was like, oh yes, that's my shit right there.
I was going to say, for all you young listeners out there, that's the music that your dad listens to now.
Yeah. Look at me, dad goals. So, yeah, cool stuff. This is like, I'm going to say this is my second time watching it because I remember turning it on to watch it once ago, but I don't remember if I finished it. I don't remember if I just had it on in the background while I was doing something because that time I'd never seen it before.
Yeah.
But what about y'all? Is this y'all's first watching as well?
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
I didn't even know this shit existed. So
Exactly.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, no, this is not my first viewing of it, but that the fact that you said like, oh, I had it on while I was doing other things, I'm like, yeah, that's how you appropriately watch this movie. Like that is just you just turn this on while you're like vacuuming or something.
Honey, I'm doing the dishes with the crow in the back. Oh, that's funny. So, what is y'all's whelming of this movie then?
I will say that I'm just whelmed. It's one of those like it's a 90s movie and it's thoroughly a 90s movie. Like every which way you look at it, it's the kind of like it just obviously gave me the same like the Batman vibes too, like the original Batman's. Like, so
that's sad.
it would just all we needed was like a little Hot Wheels like Crow-mobile or something going through the town. But yeah, so it was, I don't know. It was definitely, I think Richard summed it up good there too, where it's just something you just play in the back because literally I had it just kind of playing and watching some of it. And there towards the end, I was like, there were two main scenes in there that I was like, okay, that looks like Dark Knight Rises or just the Dark Knight. And then that one looks like Beauty and the Beast. So
Which one? The like live action one or the cartoon?
The cartoon one.
Okay.
We're going that deep. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Well, because that one is the fight there at the end between Top Dollar and Crow.
No,
I was like, this is the Beast versus what's his face?
Gaston.
Gaston, yeah. Is at the end where he's up on top of the castle fighting.
Yeah. I was gonna guess that.
he was fighting with a fucking like steeple of the church. It was the most gothic
Yes.
looking sword, basically.
Because even in Beauty and the Beast, Beast breaks off a piece of the castle and starts using it.
That's
Or it was-
funny. I don't remember
Yeah.
that. That's
I
funny.
didn't either.
or he either use it or bites it off. I don't know, something like that. But he breaks off a piece of the castle.
That's funny.
Me and my wife made the same comics. We watched this together because she had never seen it either. And Top Dollar seems like he should be with the Covenant from Twilight, Shiny Boy movies.
yeah, my wife said almost the exact same thing. She didn't say Twilight, but she was like, he looks like he should be in a vampire movie.
Yes. That's funny. What's your whelming, Richard? Did we actually get your whelming, Jeremy? Did you ever actually say what
I
you...
said whelmed.
Okay.
So, hot take, I am underwhelmed. I think there is a cult following. I do not like this movie at all. This is one of those movies that when I heard they were rebooting it, I was like, good. Like, that's a terrible movie from top to bottom. They should remake it. It's really bad. Now, I'll get into like, why maybe that was really bad. But anyway, yeah, I'm not very whelmed at all. Like, the acting's real bad. The writing is real bad. There's maybe one good action scene, which is where he gets shot up by like 8 billion people, and that's about it. But anyway, yeah, just underwhelmed.
That was the Dark Knight scene.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah, because it was Joker. Like, that's, to me, it was Joker's scene where he does the pencil scene.
Oh, I got you. Yeah. It does. Like, my wife even said, like, he looks like a goth Joker.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, I could see that. Well, we're just going to be all over the place because I'm honestly like pleasantly whelmed with this.
What?
I enjoyed this. I actually liked it. It's not one of those that's like on my top whatever list, but like I enjoyed it. I liked it. I thought it was good. So, and I actually liked some of the acting that was done in it as well.
Oh my God.
It's more so I enjoy Ernie Hudson. I think he's highly underrated. I fucking like he's a Ghostbuster. Yeah. So I absolutely love Ernie Hudson.
Yeah, that was my note. It's just fucking Ernie Hudson's in this. I forgot. Winston from Ghostbusters.
Yes.
Man knows his glizzies. I'll say that. Man knows his glizzies.
Ketchup, mustard, onion. I mean, that's solid. That's a solid hot dog. There.
It is a solid hot dog.
But, as what's her name says, the onions make you fart. So, which I thought was pretty great. But yeah, I like Ernie Hudson. I think he's solid. And honestly, I like Brandon Lee and what he did with the Crow. Like, there's scenes in there that I really enjoy that he's done and that either made me laugh or just I liked how serious he played it. So, I don't know. I enjoyed it. I do think that the movie went too long, though. I think that's the biggest complaint that I have is that, like, once the Crow gets done with his, like, revenge, like, and then we have to have our Beauty and the Beast fight, as Jeremy was saying there at the end. Like, I wish all that was, I wish that wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
Like, I kind of wish the movie had been done. Like, it seemed like a good close ending. Like, just go ahead and be done with it there. But no, we had to add a whole nother, it felt like 30 fucking minutes to the movie. And I'm just like, oh, this right here, I don't need this. We need a comics director's cut of this. Like, this needs to be stopped right here.
Oh, and I thought of it. I had another one that was another movie reference. To me, it was a Peter Pan-esque scene where where Sarah's looking for him in his little room or whatever. And she goes to leave, and then like the lights up, and he's just standing there in his pose in the window. I was like,
that is a Peter Pan moment. Yeah, that's hilarious.
I'm having a hard time like placing. What's going on?
Whenever Sarah, like, she comes to his whatever apartment, whatever that was.
It was his apartment.
Okay.
Yeah, and she's looking for him. and he's not there because he goes being Mr. Mysterious or whatever, disappears. And she was like, I thought you cared, and started to leave.
Oh yeah.
And then it just lights up with his shadow overcasting her or whatever there. And he's just like got his 90s pose against the wall in the window.
I got you. That's funny. All right, quick synopsis right here. Eric Draven and Shelly Webster are set to be wed on Halloween night, that's creepy as fuck. I'm just letting you know. That's
It's just goth.
creepy as fuck.
It's just goth. It's just weirdos being goth kids.
Until 4 thugs come to their home and murder the couple. Eric, unable to rest in eternal peace, is brought back by the Crow to enact revenge on the thugs and their neighborhood crime lord. Can Eric avenge not only his murder, but his true loves? Have y'all ever heard the lore or backstory as to how and why James O'Barr came up with this?
No, I have not.
Okay.
No.
Jeremy's looking off.
No, I was just, no, I haven't.
So one of the things that's true / rumor, all right, is that James O'Barr was, if I can remember everything right, was at a bar and he went and called a friend to come and pick him up. And the friend that he called, this is where things kind of get fuzzy, was either a close friend of his or his fiance. And I can't ever find anything that's like pinned down to which is what, which obviously it could be both. So anyways, he calls up this lady and she comes out, or I guess she's on her way to come and pick him up, and gets hit and killed by a drunk driver.
Oh, shit.
Oh, dang.
Right. Yeah. So of course he has to deal with this because it's like, he takes the blame, it seems like.
Yeah.
He joins the Marines and he finds a story while I guess he's working with the Marines of a couple who are murdered over a $20 engagement ring.
Damn.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Which, if that part is true as well, which I kept finding that, if that part is true, like that, I believe because of the emphasis this movie had on the Crow and him finding, or on Eric and him finding, Shelly's engagement ring.
Yeah.
And like going through all that and how much it meant to him and having it and all that jazz throughout this movie and story. And then, you've got all that tragedy to make the story. And then you come to 5 years later, they go to make the movie, and Brandon Lee goes to star as the Crow. This is his first big lead, is it not? Because I don't know of anything. I know he's in something else, but I think this was supposed to be his big breakout moment.
Yeah, I want to say you're right on that. I'm not entirely sure. Let me look that up.
So Brandon Lee, for those of you who are listening and don't know, this is the only son of Bruce Lee. Yes, that famous Bruce Lee. And so he takes on the role of the Crow, and during the filming of the movie gets shot, legit shot. One of the guns was supposed to have blanks in it, and it did not, and he got shot and was killed there on set. So another tragedy as part of this story, this ongoing story of the Crow. I don't know, this thing is filled with all kinds of just sorrow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. What? Because now it's who would have the nerve to sign up and be like, yeah, I'll play the Crow even though the last guy died. Still playing it.
Well, that's like the curse of Superman.
Yeah, exactly.
Huh? What do you mean?
The Superman, everyone's role up until, gosh, I can't think of the guy, the Superman Lois. Anyway,
Brandon Routh.
every Superman that had been Superman for a
too.
while, had horrible accidents.
Really?
Yeah.
Yep.
I did not know that.
Yeah. I can't remember. I know not all of them died from the accidents, but I know that Christopher Reeve he was paralyzed, thrown off a horse and paralyzed. And so he finished out his days that way.
Yep.
Jeez.
But yeah, there was what was called the Superman curse. And that was one of the reasons why Tom Welling, who played Clark Kent in the Smallville TV show. He was like, I'm not wearing that suit. That the rumor is he would not wear the suit because of that curse.
Oh my God, really? Because like
that's the rumor.
That's one of the shows that I cite of like, I waited 10 fucking years for you to put on that goddamn suit. Yeah, I stuck with that show, as horrible as it was, for 10 years to see you put on that suit for like 30 minutes.
That's fantastic. Fantastic. I forgot about the dude from Lois and Clark, and I can't think of his name either.
I can't think. It's on the tip of my tongue, and I can't think of it. Real quick. Yes, this was kind of his break. Like Brandon Lee is cited for other movies, but yeah, this kind of was his breakout role.
Yeah. So you had the guy from Lois and Clark, you had Tom Welling, and then I guess Brandon Routh is like the big movie Superman that, you know, nothing's happened to him. So, and from then on, it kind of seems like, right? Well, and nothing's happened to Henry Cavill either.
Yet.
So, they've officially been Superman and are not Superman anymore. So,
can't associate it.
But you brought up off podcast, Jeremy. There's been like several other sequels to this movie here, The Crow, with different iterations of it. There's actually different stories of different. It's almost like an anthology type. Like anybody can be the Crow, kind of thing. People come back, to become the
like
Crow.
Doctor Who.
But, yeah, something like that. Except that, like Doctor Who, that's the same person regenerating.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying, though. Yeah, like the Crow chooses something. Yes.
Yeah.
Right. So it's not even like Batman.
Right. Yeah.
Like Batman's always Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes he's also Dick, and then sometimes he's also...
I'm saying like in the movies,
right?
In the movies,
right. Yeah.
So far, he's only been Bruce Wayne. Nobody's had the balls to be somebody else in there.
No, they have not. Dean Cain is the guy that we were thinking of.
Yes, Dean Cain, awesome. And there's been a TV show of The Crow as well. I've heard none of these other things getting any kind of attention like this 94 Crow movie, though.
Yeah.
Like, I've heard this is the best. And the reason we talked about reviewing this is because the new Crow, the reboot, has come out now and has done poorly in the box office.
Yeah, it has.
I want to see it.
I do too, actually. I'm not paying like the astronomical price to go see a movie right now.
Right.
But if it comes out on streaming, I will absolutely watch it. I mostly just want to see, because from the trailers when we were talking about it, it looks like we'll get more of like what their depiction of like the afterlife looks like.
Okay.
Because like when the Crow, I guess, brings, I don't know if this new reboot, if it's Eric Draven again, which is so on the nose. Draven, really? It's like, it's Raven. Do you get it, Coral? Coral, do you get it? It's got Raven in it.
So that was one of my beefs with the movie, is that the Crow, Eric, goes to meet this pawn dealer that deals with all the thugs.
Yeah.
And he starts quoting Edgar Allan Poe's The Raven.
Right.
You know, gently rapping on my chamber door.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, didn't you hear me tapping? I'm like, you're the fucking Crow. You're not a Raven, dude. It doesn't work for you.
Yes, exactly.
But like, there's other parts that I love where like he goes to hit the guy and the camera looks away and the guy looks away, and then he comes back and there's nobody there. And then all of a sudden, like, Eric's hanging upside down and like says something and then hits him in the face with like a baseball bat or something. I was just like, yes. I don't know. It's just stuff like that would make me chuckle that I loved. So,
yeah.
When Sarah's like looking for him, that like Peter Pan scene that Jeremy was referring to, I really wanted him to like be perched up like in the corner and like cawing.
Or just like she can throw out some like breadcrumbs or birdseed.
He comes up there, starts pecking on them. If you give him a treat, he'll trade you the treat for like cigarette butts or something like that.
Speaking of cigarette butts, you know, there's like all kinds. They do a whole lot of. There's a lot of smoking that's going on in this movie.
Right, yeah.
There's a lot of like drug use, alcohol use, stuff like that.
Yeah, it's the 90s.
Right. And then it's like a heavy like music scene, it seems like, as well. And you're dealing with all these like thugs and whatnot like that. But like, I felt like this movie was almost like an anti-drug, anti-tobacco, like kind of ad as well, which I thought was kind of cool for the audience that this was like geared towards. You know what I mean? Like this would be the crowd that would sit there and like smoke cigarettes and probably indulge in like illegal substances and whatnot. But like, he puts, Eric puts a cigarette out. He's like, oh, you got to get rid of these things. They'll kill you. And then there's that scene with Sarah's mom.
Yeah.
Where he's like, morphine is bad for you. And he's like showing her the needle injections and stuff. And, it gets her to run out. And I mean, the fact that, this creepy guy with white makeup and, black makeup on is, and just kicking everybody's ass. That's not scary enough. But then he grabs you and starts squeezing morphine out of your arm. Like, yeah, I think I would run out half naked too. I'm just saying.
Yeah, he was using his like power to like bleed the like heroin or morphine out of her kind of stuff. And yeah, it's so when watching it again, I told my wife, I was like, there's two scenes I vividly remember from watching this like way back, and it's that one, and then it's the one where he gets shot up like on the table or whatever, but he's laughing or whatever. But yeah, the actress, I had to look her up because she looks so much like Drew Barrymore, but she's not.
Right? Right?
I was just calling her not Drew Barrymore the entire time.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So, and that was another one that like I didn't understand as far as, and I thought was a dumb ending. His whole like pulling Ghost Rider's like death stare or whatever, like on
the pin
Top
stare.
Dollar. Yeah. And putting all his 30 hours of pain all at once on Top Dollar. I was like, what? Like, I just didn't get it. So,
well, so like he touched the detective. I'm just gonna call him Ernie because that's what his name is.
Yeah, Ernie Hudson.
Well, that's not his character name.
No,
but like that's all I see is just that Ernie Hudson.
I mean, my headcanon is this is Winston before he went and joined the Ghostbusters.
I've seen some weird shit.
Yes, exactly.
I fucking love that. I love that. I love that the Crow is now associated with Ghostbusters. I think that's great.
Because he asks if he's a ghost earlier. He's like, are you some kind of ghost? And so Ernie in Ghostbusters says the line about like, look, as long as there's a paycheck in it, like I'll believe whatever you want me to believe. Like,
right.
And that's because he's probably seen this like man come back from the dead.
He said, fuck working this devil's night anymore. I'm going to get fired anyways.
Yes.
Let's just go join these Ghostbusters.
Yes,
like,
exactly.
All right. So now we got to do a reel. We've got to do a reel or TikTok. We keep talking about doing TikToks and we don't do them.
Yes.
So now we have to do it with that weird doo 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 creepy ass music or whatever, and like showing the song, like the walkthrough now of Winston Zedmore and how he changed his name and everything so he could join the Ghostbusters.
Yes.
That's great.
That'd be hilarious.
But like he touched him to get the memories of like how he sat with Shelly the whole time.
Yeah.
So like so he got all that, and like the way his reaction was almost like he felt it as well.
Yeah.
So then all he did was he touched Top Dollar and passed all that on to him.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It was just still just kind of, it was one of those like, it was just delivered weirdly and just, I don't know. It just didn't fit to me.
I think whenever that's used in a movie, it's just never good. Like it never hits like the way people think it's going to.
Oh, yeah. So
like you have it in this movie right here, in the original Hulk movie with Eric Bana playing Bruce Banner. Yeah. Like he's like, you want all this power, then take it all. And he's like supposed to be, giving it to his dad, and it overloads him, and then he, whatever, explodes into gamma bits or something. I don't know. And like, I just don't think that's ever like that's the trope that you should just not use in movies. It never hits. It's just like I don't know a movie where it does.
I mean, Ghost Rider pulling it off pretty good.
Well,
no. Just kidding.
I don't even know what to hit there. No.
I was gonna say I'm pausing so I can give you time to hit something. Ghost Rider's like pushing like hell on somebody. Like,
Yeah.
No, it's, Ghost Rider's the penance stare is just all the sins that they have committed. It's like weighing on their soul.
yeah. Yeah.
So it's the same. It's the same as the Crow thing. But to be honest with you, Jeremy, I think the reason why it was done is probably because Brandon died like during the middle of this filming, because a lot of that was done like via stunt double. Like a lot of the scenes, I honestly think, when he's running from the cops and like he jumps into Ernie's car or Winston's car.
Yeah.
I think that's not Brandon Lee because we never see his face. The hair is always covering up his face. I think that's just a stunt double kind of thing that they used. But yeah.
Could you find, I think, Richard, you looked around, so I don't know if you found this or not. I could not pin down where the actual scene where he died in.
Well,
I saw one where it said the apartment scene, but I also saw one where it said it was a shotgun that killed him, and that wasn't used in the apartment scene. So I couldn't pin down.
It's definitely not a shotgun. I'll just get into this. This is the whole his death and then after his death kind of thing. Shortly after midnight on March 31st, 1993, Brandon and his co-star Sophia I should have looked up her name. Sophia. David Patrick Kelly, Lawrence Mason, Angel David, and Michael Massey were filming a flashback sequence in which Brandon and Sophia's character, Eric and Shelly, get murdered in their apartment. Brandon's character, Eric, was supposed to get shot by Michael's character, Funboy, with a 6.29 44 Magnum revolver from a distance of 12 to 15 feet away. Brandon had initially been instructed to fall forward after getting shot with what was supposed to be a blank round. It is unknown whether or not Michael was told to point the gun directly at Brandon, as different people have said that he was told not to point the gun at Brandon, while others have said that he was told to point the gun directly at Brandon. The cast rehearsed the scene twice without issues. When they were shooting the scene, Brandon had walked in and got shot by Michael. When Brandon got shot, he fell backwards as opposed to forwards like he was supposed to do. Initially, the cast and crew thought Brandon spontaneously changed up to the character's actions, and they thought nothing of it. After the director yelled cut, when Brandon didn't get back up, the crew started to think he was joking. When they realized he wasn't joking, the cast and crew soon suspected that Brandon somehow hurt himself falling backwards. It was soon feared that Brandon had internal injuries when they noticed his abdomen started to swell. He was rushed to New Hanover Regional Medical Center, where he underwent 6 hours of surgery and was given 60 pints of blood. Effort to save Brandon were unsuccessful, and he was pronounced dead at 1:03 p.m. at the age of 28.
Wow.
Yeah. When the autopsy was performed, a .44 Magnum bullet was removed from his body. Brandon's death certificate cited a gunshot wound to the abdomen as the cause of death. What led to the incident is that the crew was under serious time constraints, and as others have stated, that the studio was putting pressure on Alex Proyas, that's the director of this movie, to finish the film. Due to not being able to purchase real dummy bullets, the prop crew tried to make their own dummy bullets with live rounds by cutting off the tips and unloading the gunpowder. The bullets were then loaded with a .44 Magnum, the bullets were then loaded into a .44 Magnum revolver. The same revolver at some point during filming was fired with the bullets still in the chamber. When the gun was fired, the tip of one of the bullets remained lodged in the barrel. The production crew had sent the weapon expert home early, and the handling of the weapon was left to the prop crew, who were presumably unaware that the gun needed to be checked and cleaned after every usage. When blanks were loaded into the same .44 Magnum gun, the prop crew either didn't notice or disregarded the severity of the obstruction in the gun. When Michael shot the gun, the explosive charge of powder gases of the blank caused the bullet fragment to be fired at Brandon with the same force of a live round. striking him in the abdomen and mortally wounding him. Brandon's death was investigated by Wilmington police and was ultimately ruled as an accident due to negligence. Following the death of her son, Linda Lee Cadwell had sued the filmmakers for negligence that caused Brandon's death. The lawsuit was settled out of court, and the footage of Brandon's death was destroyed.
Wow.
After his death, Alex Proyas was faced with a decision to either complete the film or leave it unfinished. With the support and approval of Brandon's mother and fiance, Alex decided to finish the film. The beginning of the film, which wasn't finished when Brandon died, had been rewritten. The remaining scenes were filmed without Brandon and were completed with stunt doubles and CGI, putting Brandon's face over the face of the stunt double.
Wow.
Paramount was originally supposed to distribute the film, but backed out due to the filming delays and Brandon Lee's death. Miramax picked up the film, and the film was released May 11th, 1994. And that's it.
Wow.
Dang.
Yeah.
That's like, so I don't know, man. I don't know. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's just crazy. And you can't help but think, because like there's like this whole conspiracy with like Bruce Lee's death.
Oh, yeah.
And so like that kind of followed Brandon as well, where it was like, was this really an accident? Or was this like, no, there will not be another Lee in Hollywood. Like that's not happening.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. So I don't know. And especially the way that it's described as far as how the accident, like the steps it took to occur. It's like, really? Like a bullet got lodged in the chamber and it just wasn't removed. And so when the dummy bullets were put in, it was like, it went off that explosion. Like, that's fucking crazy.
I only know from the whole like Alec Baldwin Rust thing going on, because there's this one guy that talks about like making props and stuff, and he makes like dad jokes about, he kind of touched on that. Like, it's not up to the prop person to like check that gun. It's up to the like munitions person. So regardless, they shouldn't have sent him home. It's negligence, like they said, top to bottom, people not doing their fucking job.
Right.
Anyway, that gun should have been checked. Now, it's not the duty of the prop person to check that.
Right.
But yeah, I don't necessarily think that like, did someone like have it out for the Lees? I really do think it's just people being lazy at their job, and it got someone killed, unfortunately. Especially like the live round thing is crazy to me. Like making your own dummy, like that's just you. You better know what. Like I've seen so many like people make their own rounds for like hunting and stuff like that, and it goes horribly wrong. So I'm just like, you better know what you're fucking doing when you're making a dummy round.
Oh yeah.
Right.
But yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. That's one where like if I'm an actor and I know that that's coming up and they've used like homemade dummy rounds, I'm like, you gonna point that somewhere else. Like exactly. we can do two different scenes here.
Yeah.
Well, and then on top of that, to sit there and use the same gun for not only dummy rounds but live rounds as well.
Yeah.
Like and I think the accident could still happen, because like if all you have to do is pick up the wrong gun, then it's like, oh no, this is the dummy gun. And no, that's the one with the live. Like, it's still like you still could have the same outcome. Like, don't get me wrong.
Right. Yeah.
But I think when you look at that scenario, you look at the money constraint. I'm saying if you're a conspiracy theorist, it's easy, in my opinion, to go down the weeds and to be like, this is odd. This is odd. Why is the person being sent home? Especially if you're on time constraints and like it costs somebody their life on that one instance. You know what I mean? Like, if you're a tinfoil hat person, it'd be easy. I could see going down the road of like somebody was after the leads.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't know. It's just weird. It's crazy to me. Crazy. Because that was like that was one of the people that I grew up watching. Like a lot of people, anyways, was Bruce Lee.
Yeah, same.
And then there was that whole what was it? It was a biography movie that was The Dragon, that was about Bruce Lee and his life and like him coming. You know what? Do what now?
Enter the Dragon. That's the name of it.
Is that the biography movie?
Yeah.
I thought Enter the Dragon was like his like big like Hollywood movie.
I'm pretty sure that's the name of the biography too. But anyway, go ahead.
Maybe
Sorry.
so. But that was like that. I remember watching that as a kid. So, but that was really cool just seeing that all that stuff transpire in his life and what it took for him to come over here and like actually, you know, become a star, not really in the States, but more overseas.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, old Brandon, I would love to have seen what he would have been able to do in like other movies, other action movies. I think that would have been really cool to be able to watch, you know, what he could have actually have done, because the stuff that I liked was like, you know, he goes into Ernie's apartment and Ernie's like, "Are you a ghost?" He goes, "Boo." Like, I don't know what it was. I like that scene. And I like where he walks in, he goes, "Freeze." And he's, "Don't do that." Like, that stuff to me was freaking fantastic.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah. It was weird to me. Like he's still wearing his cop hat or whatever. That was
Yes. And he calls him at, he's like, "You're still wearing your hat."
Yeah.
He takes it off.
You are correct too as well. It's called Dragon: The Bruce Lee Story. Enter
Okay,
the
awesome.
Dragon is his movie. So
Yeah.
I'm just confusing the two. But yeah, no, yeah, I don't know. I didn't like the boo thing, but I don't know. I just this movie was very 90s for me. Like I was
Yeah.
And I gotta be honest with you, the stunts in like fight choreography wasn't great, but I'm trying to not judge it because it is a 90s movie. But I didn't think it was that great. The best action scene is when he's getting shot up and he's doing all the like shooting in that room with the long table.
Yeah.
And that was my another complaint too, is like he had some insane magazines on those little pistols. Like,
Yeah, well,
right?
I was like, good Lord.
That I forgive. I mean, I was thinking, I'm like, he never reloaded. No one ever reloaded, honestly, in that scene. And that's just a trope back in the day. Like nobody, like now we have John Wick where he's like shooting and then he like runs out of bullet and I don't know, he kills somebody with the fucking gun. But yeah, it was very like, when are you going to run out of bullets there? He's got the infinite ammo cheat.
Yeah. Cause I was like getting ready for like the Deadpool of like, oh, somebody wasn't counting. Like,
well, I think video games have helped with that too. Where like we've gotten Call of Duty and things like that. So like us as like game players, I say us because I don't hardly play, but like us as game players, you know, we sit there and we keep track of the rounds and what's in the, you know what I mean? Like through video games. I don't think that was a thing back in the day. You know what I mean? Like if you're playing a video game, you may run out of whatever kind of ammo you're shooting in your Super Nintendo or Sega at that time. But like it wasn't like what it is today. So I don't think people like actually counted back in, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I don't think that was a thing. I think that's new because of where we're at and other pop culture and whatnot like that. And just and like just our economy in general, where, you know, there is a fascination. I seem like more about guns nowadays than there was then. I'm not saying that there wasn't back then. I'm just saying I feel like it's more now than it was then.
Yeah.
So
yeah, back then I was just jumping on mushrooms and turtles, basically.
I didn't know where that was going there. For a second, I was like, what? Yoo-hoo! Yoshi! Yeah.
So with y'all saying these things about the 90s and whatnot, I think it brings us to a really good part in this show that we're doing. And that's like, does this movie hold up? Do y'all think this movie, because like we did this with the Turtles.
Yeah.
And did we do this with something else? Didn't we do another one oh no, that was a Snowpiercer one that was comics. You didn't know were movies. Go back and watch that if you haven't, or listen to it. Don't watch us. Listen to us.
Yeah.
But with this being a 90s movie, does this hold up, you know, even close to like what the Turtles kind of did? Like, I know that it's definitely, in my opinion, it's definitely got some of its dated stuff in it, but does it hold up to where we're at now in time?
No. Like, I mean, it's like, I still have fun watching the Turtles, and like, I love those movies. And so this one, I still one and done type thing for me. And so just, I would say no. I like, I guess, I mean, some of the, you know, quote unquote, like mobster stuff or whatever could, I mean, yeah, that still gets done in movies nowadays and that type, but obviously it's done a little bit differently, but so some of that can, but as overall as a movie, nah, I think it's got too many miscues and I don't know, odd scenes and stuff. So I just, yeah.
Is that supposed to be a morbid pun?
No, it was not. It's too soon, Michael.
Yes.
Even though it's 30 years
Right.
ago.
Right.
Yeah, I kind of just echo Jeremy. No, I don't think this movie holds up at all. And I kind of revealed that at the beginning because I think this absolutely needs a reboot. I hope it's not a bad reboot. I mean, I don't like the fucking mullet. I've been very voicious about how I don't like the mullet and the look of the crow in this new one. Machine Gun Crowy is what I call it. But yeah, I also like Jeremy was saying, yeah, like the mob stuff maybe holds up. Though the mob guys don't have as much fun names as they do back in the day. Like you had, what was it? It was like T-Bird and Skank and Tintin and Funboy and Grain. I don't know, all of them. Which, by the way, fun mention real quick, Jeremy. Grange, the like black guy that's kind of Top Dollar's right hand man, with the round glasses that shot the crow. That is the voice of Venom in the Spider-Man video game.
Is it really?
Yes.
Oh, that's cool.
So
full circle.
Yeah.
Yes. But yeah, no, I don't. The Ninja Turtles one, I figured you were going to ask this, and I thought about it last night, and I was like, this just does not hold up, especially like some of the shots and everything. I know are like a product of the time. What I'm saying is like making that shot, like what I'm getting at is the crow flying through the city and stuff, where it clearly looks like a crow that like was flying on like a green screen, and then they just put that over like a little miniature set because you could tell it was a little miniature set with like fake flames coming out, and and it just looks so bad in so many scenes. And I don't know if it's just Turtles was made better, because the only thing that like really dates the Turtles movie is just the technology in that movie, whereas this one, it feels like the making of the movie kind of dates it.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. That I could kind of forgive some of those scenes where it's the the beginning stages of some of the CGI kind of stuff where like he's running through the landscape at one point in time and you can tell the backdrop is just not what it's supposed to be. The beginning of the movie starts off with like an aerial shot and you've got like flames coming out of apartments because it's Devil's Night and everything's on fire. Like that scene to me, it's like, oh, that's not like that. Nowadays, that would be a much better looking scene. And I kind of like forgive that stuff because of its time. As far as like the movie holding up over the time. However, I feel like the music honestly is the biggest thing that hinders this from being I can't even think of the word now.
Timeless.
Yes. like being able to hold up over time.
Evergreen.
Like I feel like the music. Yes. I feel like the music is the biggest thing that dates this movie.
Yeah.
And like in the clothes that go along with some of that, because you have like these party scenes or whatever, and these people are like very like either punk or grunge or what that time period, like rock. And the music that's going on, like I enjoy it, I love it because that's what I grew up with. But that to me, at the same time, it's like that's what dates it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because like kids nowadays don't listen to that music at all.
Yeah,
you know. Like, if you go to a 9 Inch Nails concert, like, it's not new people that's going, it's old people now that's going to it. Like, I sit there and talk about Rage Against the Machine, and my kids are like Jeremy. They're like, who?
Yeah.
Who? Exactly. So I feel like the music has such a presence in this movie. And that atmosphere has such a presence in this movie that's what dates it. Like that's what's going to hold it from being one of those stand the test of time type movies. So, in my opinion,
Because it was even like it was even the thing that cracked me up that he had to get a guitar and just be like soloing up there on top of the top of the building. I was like, what do we do?
Yeah,
in the rain, Jeremy.
Yeah. He's very dramatic. Like, there's a lot of very dramatic scenes. I always thought, remember, I didn't pay close attention when watching these, probably because I was vacuuming while watching this movie. But when his like costume, his like leather pants and that like skin tight, like leather, not leather, but skin tight shirt. And then there's like a shiny bit. I always thought that was like leather wrapping around it. I like just sitting down and actually focusing watching it. It's just tape. He just taped himself up. It's just fucking funny to me.
What's even worse about that is it's like the hand that Fun Boy shot is if I remember right, and I'm like,
Yeah.
You showed him it growed back. Like, you shouldn't have tape on that hand at all. Like, why?
Yeah, I know.
What's going on? I feel bad because I feel like we're ruining this movie for anybody who likes it.
I do and I don't, because like they're gonna like it no matter what we say.
Yeah.
I liked the scene with him and Tintin at the very beginning, when he like kills him. I thought that was kind of cool, though. Like my wife mentioned afterwards when we see Tintin dead, my wife was like, "Holy shit, he turned him into a knife block."
Oh yeah, he did.
He was definitely a pushpin after that.
Yeah.
Tintin was probably like one of the worst characters for me, honestly, because like, especially at the bar scene. First of all, this whole fire it up, like I'm like, oh fuck, y'all gotta quit that shit. Y'all gotta knock that out. But like they're at the table and they're like swallowing bullets like they're horse pills. Yeah. And I'm like, what the fuck are y'all doing? Y'all are getting constipated on that shit. I'm just letting you know right now.
That's
like, there's no way that passes easy, right?
Talk about lead poisoning. Jeez.
And Tintin, like, when the leader of them, T-Bird, when he like puts his cigar out on his tongue, like Tintin, like, you're fucking crazy, man. I'm like, you need to stop. You need to control yourself a little bit. Knock that off.
All of them, I don't know. Again, it's like the 90s thing. They reminded me of like bad versions of like the villain, like the drug, I forget the character's name, but from RoboCop, the first one, the ones that kill Alec Murphy. Anyway, it just reminded me of that. But yeah, Top Dollar, man. Top Dollar needs to get his dollar back and kill whoever gave him that fucking haircut. Did y'all like those bangs that are just like off? And like he looks like a squire from like, I don't know, ye olden times with knights and stuff. Like he looked so bad.
I thought Top Dollar was the long-haired guy that was supposed to be
right.
with the
I'm
Covenant.
Sorry. You're right. It is.
Is that T-Bird that has the bangs?
T-Bird is
yes.
I'm sorry. T's.
Yeah.
Yes, T-Bird was the one that I was thinking. He should have like killed his barber, or because it just looks so bad.
Well, also, did y'all notice every time he went to his car to get in, he like reached down and did something and then opened his car door?
No, I didn't notice. But don't some older cars have like a secret like unlock thing?
I didn't know that.
I
maybe so.
Y'all are car guys. Y'all tell me.
I've had some fairly old cars, but I don't know of anything like that.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't think of one like that off the top of my head. I mean, nowadays, yes, you gotta like on some of those, like especially like these electric cars, all the crap you gotta do to like, get the door open. It's dumb.
I saw this one guy struggling at Costco the other day. He had one of those trunks that open up when you wave your foot.
Oh my God, yes.
He's just sitting there just to wave it. And I'm like, fucker, just pull the key out and open that shit. Come on now. Quit doing the hokey pokey to open your trunk, man.
Yeah, I know. Those things never fucking work.
No.
The other weird thing that happens is they smoke an eyeball.
Huh?
Oh, no.
Like, they smoke an eyeball.
Oh, yeah.
like with a big like tray of Coke. Like it's so nice.
Oh yeah, that's to wash it down.
It's to get the smell of like smoked eyeball out of your nose.
Burnt eyelash. Nobody likes that. So you just Coke it out.
And then when the Asian sister, I forget her name, but anyway, when she steals the crow, I made a comment of like, watch out, she's going to try and smoke that crow.
That's funny.
Also, I'm sorry, I am going to shit on there's some real bad lines in this movie. One of them being, this is the really real world.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then the other one was, caw, caw, bang, fuck, I'm dead. That's what Top Dollar says to the crow. And I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Should have called him monologuing. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I got, man. That's all I have.
Yeah, no, that's pretty much mine as well. So, Jeremy, you got anything else?
No, that's all I had to.
Forgive me for getting ready to ask this question because I'm pretty sure I already know the answer, but y'all recommend anybody watch this?
No.
Yes, I actually do. I do. Every now and then, because I like watching. I've said this plenty of times. I like watching bad movies or good bad movies or bad good movies, whatever it may be. So yeah, I have, I think, recommended like, oh, have you ever seen Brandon Lee's The Crow before? It's not great. You should go see it or whatever. So yeah, I would recommend this, but not for the reasons of I think it's a masterpiece in cinema or anything like that.
It's just if you're doing dishes or vacuuming one day.
Just doing dishes or vacuuming, fluffing some pillows on the couch, folding some clothes after laundry. We should do Darkman. I think Darkman does a better job of this movie than this movie can do.
I've never seen Darkman.
Darkman is great.
What's the premise?
It is Batman before Batman, really. It is a scientist guy gets blown up and his face is all like fucked up and he's getting revenge on the mob for killing him and I think his wife or something. I can't remember. It's been a long time since I've seen it. There's like 3 of them. But anyway, had Liam Neeson in the first one. Oh. And he can make these like fake looking like skins and put it over his like mutilated face and pretend to be other people. And anyway, it's a cool movie.
This sounds like a lot of shit mixed together. Okay, then.
It's a cool movie. I like it a lot. But yeah.
I would have to say if you're interested in The Crow, this would probably be, this is the one thing I've heard everybody say, oh, this is where you go. So I would recommend it just for that aspect of it. It's like somebody was like, oh yeah, I saw when the new Crow came out. Like I've heard mixed reviews about it. I'm like, maybe check out the first one, with Brandon Lee. Like that's really the, his big claim to fame. And so telling the story behind it and stuff like that and the history that goes with it and kind of make your decision from there. The movie's a little longer than it should be, but I mean, if you want to know what the Crow's about, like that's probably where I'd start. So
they made some sequels to this. I wouldn't mind watching them to see if they're any better, but I don't know if I want to devote the time to do that.
Me either, because I've never heard anybody say watch any of the sequels. I've never heard anybody say watch the TV show. Like everybody I've ever talked to that has liked anything that has to do with the Crow has always said, check out the original.
Yeah.
So
I like for our listeners, if you are a Crow fan, I do like the core concept. Like the idea of this, like these 2 lovers, like their love is so strong that this like mythical like crow comes and brings back the guy alive to go back and get his revenge. Essentially, this is goth like revenge porn. So like I like the core concept of it. It's no different than like say The Punisher or something like that. But I just don't think it was well executed is all. And maybe it's just of the time or the situation that they had to deal with losing Brandon during the filming of it. But that's why I am going to shit on it, but I do like, I don't know. I do think it does hold like a place in history, if you will, which is why I think I say like, you should watch it kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, and like you said, you like the core story.
Yeah.
So the idea of it, you just don't like the execution. So
Mhm.
I think that says something, honestly. Like,
Yeah.
I think that's a valid whatever. I mean, of course it's valid. You said it, but like, I didn't mean it like that. So I like Shelly coming at the end and like
Yeah.
being the, for lack of better words, being the redeeming factor, being the rock, the cornerstone or whatever for him, being like, okay, it's time. You can rest. Like
Mhm.
everything's okay. And so a lot of people I know were like, oh, with the reboot, they should do Shelly as the Crow. And like, I can see it, especially since she was like raped and murdered
Mhm.
and her being the more vengeful of it. But she also left that scene thinking that Eric had lived.
Oh yeah.
So honestly, with the story being like that, I like the idea of Eric coming back because he was the first one to die. And I like the idea of Shelly coming back and being all dressed in white and being the one that's like, it's time. Just rest.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I like that. I like the, I guess, symbolism with that or whatever.
The imagery.
So, yes. Yeah. So, cool. Y'all got anything else?
No, that's it for me, man.
Yep, I'm good.
Jeremy, where can I find you at?
They can find me on Twitch under the handle Night Fury GTO. That's Night with a K. And you can find me here.
You I'm gonna ask it. Are you playing any of that Guardians?
No.
Shame! Shame! Shame!
Yeah.
What about you over there, Michael?
Oh, no, I'm in the same camp.
Shame! Shame! Shame!
Yeah.
I was like,
wait.
I was about to say, I can't get to 3 and he only gets 2.
I mean, you have waited longer, I think, at this point. You've played other games. Am I going to have to get my wife to play this game? It seems like that was the motivating factor for you.
Yeah, apparently.
That's hilarious. Richard, where can they find you at?
If you want to contact me directly, I have an X, the platform formerly known as Twitter, and Instagram, and a Threads. My handle is Night Curry, night like day night, and curry with a K. If you want to contact us directly, we have a Gmail. Our Gmail is comicallycomicspodcast@gmail.com. And if you want to check us out on YouTube, possibly TikTok, we'll see, and Instagram, you can check us out under the name Comically Comics Podcast. And if you want to check us out on X, the platform formerly known as Twitter, you can check us out under the name Comically Comics with an X.
Nice. You can find me on Instagram, eBay, and Shortbox at 22_comics. You can also find me on YouTube at 22 comics. Thank you all so much for listening. Hope you enjoyed it as much as we did making it. With all that being said, Jeremy, fire it up. Fire it up.
Fire it up. Fire it up.
Fire it up. Fire it up.